this is Paul Haar from the Saxophonist Magazine, and I'm here with a playtest and review of the Narayan alto and tenor saxophone from Theo Wanne. So what did I think of the Narayan alto and tenor saxophone? Well, I have to be honest with you. When I think Theo Wanne, I think mouthpieces. And so I was a little skeptical about how well these instruments would play. I have to tell you, this was a fun play test in both the alto and tenor versions. They play incredibly thick and free-blowing and have a great sound, but most importantly, flexibility where I can control the tone that I want to have, which I really look for in a saxophone. Let me just go through some things that I like about this instrument. One might think that it's this really cool, what they call blue vintified body versus the gold lacquered keys. I'm kind of a traditional guy, so I don't take well to fads of, colored lacquers and things like that. But I have to admit, this is a beautifully well done instrument. The engraving is sharp, you can feel it. It looks very nice, the matte blue against the lacquered keys, which, as you can tell, and if you can't, you could see it in the online review, photos, beautifully engraved. The horn is solid, it is sturdy. Some points here that I want to bring out is this is not a full ribbed construction instrument like a Selmer or a Yanagisawa or a Yamaha, meaning that there are ribs of brass that run down the body to give extra weight. This is like an old Kahn or an old Martin, where the posts are soldered directly to the body. This allows the instrument to vibrate a little bit freer, but it also means that if you dent one, there's not going to be that extra support. So you got to be very careful when you have a single rib or a single braced construction like this. Overall, the sound was thick. It produced a very free-blowing sound. But what I liked about both the alto and tenor is it allowed me to create different sounds, meaning it is open and flexible. It doesn't pigeonhole me. There are some really neat things about this instrument, aside from the cosmetics, which I have to tell you is impressive. It's a nice, well, it's a beautiful looking horn. Here's some things. There are 3 strap rings, kind of borrowing from some old vintage, I think, Kings. Now, what's nice about that is if you want one angle, you can have a more inward down angle. Just by changing to the second strap ring, I instantly have more of an upward tilt. And if I want a real Jimmy Jufrey high, and this is nice because it's going to accommodate the center of gravity of a variety of different torsos. It has some nice bracing here, which is good because these are not necessarily nickel-plated rods. At least they don't seem to be, because there's a lot of flex to them. The Keywork kind of reminds me of a cross between Yamaha Keywork and the old B&S type keys. There is what looks like a synthetic pearl or a synthetic almost onyx abalone-ish type, but it's not abalone, it's synthetic. It feels very good in my hands. It fits my hands well. The palm keys fit beautifully. Down here on the B flat to B or C sharp to B, the key is angled, so I don't have any annoying transference between the two. One thing that I will tell you that I didn't necessarily like was the E flat to C. In fact, first thing I can do, you can hear it kind of clunks a little bit. And the reason why is my finger gets caught in it. I thought it was a little strange that these weren't angled more to allow for a greater transference. So that would be the first thing I would do. And the side keys fit my hands really well. The F sharp felt a little bit off center, but I could very easily get used to it. I like this 3-point brace. It provides for maximum support of the bell, but minimal support in the fact that it's going to allow the bell to ring. The ventified body is cool. I will warn you that this is not a lacquer. In fact, I think it must be some sort of chemical treatment to brass. And I noticed that when I put my hand inside, so one of the things I'd recommend is taking a rag and wiping the body down before you start playing it, because that is going to leave a mess. All in all, I've been incredibly impressed with it. Oh, another thing that I really like, that would be remiss if we didn't talk about it, but for the purposes of discussing it, I'm going to grab the alto real quick. And that is the neck. This is a proprietary neck design, and the necks are titanium. Now, that in and of itself would make the neck impressive as far as strength and resonance. But instead of having a rib under the neck like most necks do to keep it from being pulled down, Theo has added a brace, of course, with his name on it. Hey, I would. And that brace not only balances, so you're not going to have any pull down, but it allows that tube to really ring. It is impressive. So instead of that full body bracing that you would feel here, or full neck bracing, you have just 2 points of access of contact. Again, the three weights. It allows me to play a variety of different colors. And I have to say how surprised I was at the thickness and directness of the tone, especially on the alto. I really enjoyed it and could very easily play these instruments right out of the case. They are well constructed. They are solid feeling horns. Now, my guess is that they may be designed by Theo, but of course they're probably made in Taiwan. In fact, I'm willing to bet it, because a lot of my heavy mass screws and things that I have for Taiwanese instruments and necks, aftermarket necks, seem to fit these body tubes well. Here's what I'll tell you. If that's a deal breaker for you, get over it. Because I'm going to probably bet that most of the saxophones being made by the boutique names are probably being made in Taiwan anyhow. The difference is the way the Taiwanese have saxophones constructed. You can add your own ideas, your own designs, and they will work with you. This allows you to have an instrument that isn't going to cost you $6,000 to $10,000. In fact, the alto sells right now for about $3,600. The tenor for about $4,200, which I'm going to tell you is inexpensive when it comes to a professional quality horn. They play really well. I enjoy them, and they are something that I think you should check out. Each one comes in a GL case, kind of a form-fitted flight case. Let me grab it here. That has at least 3 straps. It's a solid plastic case. There is not much bend, but you know, it is a little flexible, but it's going to provide good protection for the horn. It has backpack straps, and I will tell you that the horn does not move in it. So all in all, these are an impressive saxophone that I think is certainly well worth your try. They do remind me of a cross between a vintage Selmer and a Kahn. It is a little bit darker than the tenor that I play on, which is a 55,000 series Mark VI. But I will tell you, it is impressively in tune, free-blowing, and very agile for the type of music I want to play. So, check out the Theo Wanne Narayan. It's certainly worth your time. Be sure to go to www.thesaxophonist.org.